Hello everyone, welcome to ResearchHUB. This is the last video of 2024, and in this video I wanted to share my PhD challenges. We had a series of videos on PhD challenges and we are going to pause for a while with this video. So here I would like to share mainly 3 PhD challenges that I have faced. Of course I have faced more, but I would like to share 3 main ones. I started my PhD on September 2015 and I graduated in August 2018, exactly 3 years. Okay, I had 4 papers, 4 journal article based papers, PhD, and then I had an introductory part which we call Kappa in Scandinavia. But now coming back to the challenges, my first challenge was academic writing. The first course papers I wrote, or first journal articles or conference papers I wrote, whenever I submitted, one of the feedback I got is that the writing is not good enough. It's not academic writing, it's poor academic writing, things like that. So it took me some time to understand that, academic writing is a bit different than just writing in English. In academic writing, we have the paragraph structure, we have to build on arguments, we have to have a storyline throughout the writing. So these things are often, when we in the beginning, very beginning of our academic writing career, often we are not very familiar with these things. So to improve my academic writing, I did several things. I read several books. I read books one of the books that helped me a lot is called How to Write a Lot by Paul Sylvia. Also, there are other books like Writing Well, Writing in Plain English. But one thing I did a lot is I started to download articles published in ABS 3 and 4 level journals, like top journals. Just go for top journals in your field, download the articles, read each and every word. Sometimes I was reading one article 4 times, 5 times, each and every word. I was just trying to capture the writing style and the pattern in academic top journal articles. So by doing this, I realized after a few months, I improved in my academic writing, and I realized that the feedback I was getting, like poor academic writing and so on, started to reduce or vanish, right? So it was my first challenge with academic writing. My second challenge was with academic presentations. I used to be very nervous when I was supposed to present in a seminar or in a conference. And there were a few things. A lot of the time, maybe I wouldn't feel confident about my English. Sometimes maybe I would try to share too much about my papers, all the things that I have done, and I would see that people cannot follow, people are not engaging, So to improve my presentation skills, I took some training courses on how to present in seminars, how to present in English. I also read some blogs, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. So over time, I also started to do more and more presentations. A lot of the time, what people do is when they feel like they're not good at something, they move away from it. But in my case, what I try to do is like I started to do more of presentations. Every chance I got to present something, even if I was like very nervous, I would still go and do it. And one of the feedback that I got from one of my mentors that helped me a lot is that, in the presentations, we shouldn't be presenting everything that we have done in a paper. Often we do a lot of things. For the literature review, we do a lot of things. For the method, we do a lot of things. For the data collection, and cleaning, we do a lot of things. We don't have to present every single detail. Also, the context of the research and the findings, we can simplify them. We don't have to, put the names and terminal names, or the contextual names, CD names, and this and that. Many people might not be familiar with those. So we can just say CDA, CDB. If I did a lot of research about ports, so I could just say port terminal A, port terminal B, instead of mentioning very particular names of the terminals all the time. So these kind of simple things makes it easy for people to follow your presentations. So the main strategy here was that we should have a storyline in the presentations, and we don't need to present every single detail. Most of the time we get only 10-15 minutes for presentation, so we focus more on the findings. Of course, we have to have the relevance, the literature, the background, the data and method, the findings, and the implications of the findings. So this is the kind of agenda or like the storyline in the presentations. But instead of like focusing too much time on every section. I started to shrink some of the parts and focus more on some of the parts, especially the findings part. I started to focus more and the implications of the findings. So now the third challenge I faced during my PhD was with publications. So as I mentioned, I had like 4 paper-based PhD and a kappa. So at the beginning of the PhD, as all other PhDs, I was also very ambitious. So I submitted my first 2 papers in really top journals. And almost more than a year or something like that, they were rejected. So I think, I submitted my PhD thesis on June 2018. And until March 2018, I didn't have any publications. And when my 2 first papers were rejected after a year or so in the review process, I was like so frustrated. I was like, I will not be able to finish my PhD, But then the 3rd and 4th paper, which I completed at the end of second year of my PhD, I didn't submit them in very high-level journals. I submitted them in decent journals, also good journals. One was under Elsevier, one was also under Taylor and Francis. So they were also good journals, but they were not like very high-level journals. So I wanted to have like portfolio, like 2 papers in top journals, 2 papers in not so top journals. The thing is, sometimes these really top journals, they can take 2, 3, 4 years in the review process, rounds of revision. Even if you get a major revision, it can take 2, 3, 4 years. One of the papers we published in really top journal took us more than 4 years even with all the revisions, So you never know. So that's the strategy I took, like 2 in top journals, 2 in not so top journals. So my 3rd and 4th paper were published in March 2018, 3 months before I submitted my PhD. And my 1st and 2nd paper, they got rejected. And I think I published them after like 2 years. 2 years after my PhD, they were published in journals. So, for me at that moment, when I was about to submit my PhD and when my papers were rejected, I just needed to feel good with 1 or 2 papers out there. For me, at that moment, it was not important to have a paper in a top journal. Sometimes we might focus so much on publishing on top journals and we might be so disappointed and we might give up, from the PhD and drop out. So instead of dropping out, I think it would be a better strategy to publish 1 or 2 papers, because that's something we expect in a PhD defense, that when you're doing a PhD defense, at least 1 or 2 papers are published. And you finish the PhD. And after finishing the PhD, you can actually then have all the time to publish in really top journals. I'm not discouraging here for publishing in top journals. Go for it, of course. Sometimes I know people who have been publishing all their papers in top journals when they're doing PhD. So if you can manage it, great. But like when I got rejection, I got like disappointed and a bit frustrated. So for me, it was important to just get something out there. So you have to have your own strategy, what works for you. So these are my 3 challenges, and I also shared how I kind of overcame it. So I hope you find it useful, and good luck with your PhD. And also, since this is the last video of 2024, I would like to mention 2 new services we are going to offer from 2025 on ResearchHUB. So we are going to offer 2 services. One is called the website. So we have developed several websites for funded projects from different funding agencies. And also we have developed several websites for personal researchers. So a lot of the time, like personal researcher would like to have a website for themselves. For example, my website is ziaulmunim.com. So similarly, many of you might would like to have a website for yourself. So you can actually contact us. We will take care of all the domain and hosting and everything, the management of the websites and everything. So we will have a team who will take care of everything for you. You just pay a yearly subscription fee and your website will be maintained. You don't have to worry about domain, hosting, server, all these things. Okay. So we'll do it for the personal researchers, individual researchers, and also for funded projects, larger projects funded by EU, Norwegian Research Council, or other country research councils and so on. So if you want a project website or an individual website, contact us. And the second thing we're going to offer is data analysis and reports for funded projects and companies. So if you're a company, you have large data set, you want to do some kind of analysis, reach out to us. Our team will do the data analysis for you. And if you have like a funded project, funded by any other agencies, you already have been doing a lot of work, but you need some extra help with the data analysis or presentation of some data visualization or any kind of things, reach out to us. We will take care of it for you. Of course, these services comes with a price tag, and you will find detailed information about this on our website. So goodbye. Wish you all a happy new year, and see you in 2025. Cheers.